Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, July 8th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this would be a video for you. A couple of quick clarification points. First off, this price you see over here, that number will be changing around and the candlestick will still be moving around. That's because the market is still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then next, we'll be using the 30-minute time frames. So for a beginner, what that means is that each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, ticker symbol BBBY. A very famous one from a couple years ago, one of those that went on some massive short squeezes. So it's always in the back of everybody's mind, I think. Oh, is it coming back to life? Are there bigger movements to come? And who knows, maybe this is the start of something bigger. But what's nice about this is the price has started to pull back here. Now, of course, there's a little bit of reference. If you're a day trader and you bought right there and you want to buy and sell within 10 minutes, well, then yeah, from that perspective, you don't like this pullback. But for everybody else, a pullback is nice because it at least eliminates the worry of, oh, great. Am I chasing? Am I suffering from FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. Am I going to be the sucker that buys at top? Now, just because the price is pulled back, that doesn't guarantee that you'll have a winning trade, but it does at least eliminate that worry about, am I the person that's buying the top? And no, you're not. The people that suffered from FOMO, the suckers that bought the top were buying up around there. So it has pulled back, which gives you, a more, what I would say, kind of less risky entry point in the sense of, are you just chasing the momentum or anything like that? But again, I want to reiterate, that does not mean that it would be a winning trade. So moving forward, the couple levels that stand out to me as interesting support levels, if this pullback continues, is going to be right there at $5.30. But if you are somebody that likes to play breakouts, then the key level that everybody and their brother's uncle will be watching is that pink line there, which is the very famous 200 period moving average. And sure, the price didn't hit it exactly, but you can see it got up right around that area and then got rejected back down. So if the price does return up to that area, you want to keep a close eye on right up here at about $6 as the value of that moving average and the key breakout point. Next, ticker symbol EVFM, and depending on your strategy is going to really kind of depend on how you view this chart. But started off today, with a little bit of a move downwards here, came up, and then right here, that red line, which I talked about in yesterday's video, was a breakout point. So for the people that day trade and play breakouts, then they got an absolutely fantastic entry point there, because after that break, the price did continue on up and gave a very nice amount of, workable movement to pull some profits off the table and potentially, depending on, the position size, score a pretty big trade. However, for the people in the other side of things that, wanted to wait and you see that much more on the breakout, those people just rough day, a very cruel day, because again, it was looking great with the breakout. And then as you see, completely rolled all the way back over. Now, as far as the overall chart is concerned, are things ruined? It's not. I mean, even if you consider the lows here and those lows and those lows, and then there's even lows lower down, and if you envision those as stair steps, the stair steps are still progressing in the upwards direction. So it's not like the entire chart is destroyed. I'm just saying from more of a nearer term perspective, there were some people that were looking for more, and then the price, like I said, completely rolled back over on them. So as far as, is this a bad or good looking chart? It really just depends what your viewpoint was. But like I said, for people that bought that breakout, congratulations. But on that note, nothing has changed. This $42.43 area remains a level of resistance. I would agree that it was probably weakened up today, but it is still a level of resistance nonetheless. And as far as supports are concerned, continue to watch that purple line right there, the 50 period moving average, currently valid at, let's just call it $1.20, as that'll be a main area of support if this thing does pull back a bit more. Next one here, NIO, and this is also a great example of why there are no guarantees, and there's nothing that's for sure going to happen. Because yesterday I was talking about, hey, nice afternoon, but you got to be careful because you had this bear flag pattern form. But in that video I said, however, just because a bearish pattern forms does not mean the prices for sure going to go down. Now, NIO was kind enough at least to gap up and say, yeah, you see that bear flag? That is no longer relevant. So the gap up this morning kind of let everybody know, all right, yeah, that bearish pattern there's no substance behind it with the big gap up. And then, check out the first 30 minutes. Just came ripping out of those gates and has now presented a very nice setup here. And as I draw this line, let me be very clear. I'm not trying to imply that I'm the only person in the world that's discovered this line and I have some sort of great talent. Not at all. I assure you a lot of people have drawn that trend line. And when a lot of people are watching the same level, wondering the same things, call it whatever you want. You can call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, but it's valid to think, not guaranteed, but valid to think that if the price comes back up to that trend line and can get the breakup through it, that break could definitely create additional upside buying pressure. So if you like to play those breakouts, then definitely keep a close eye on that trend line. Next one, AREB, and I put this one right by NIO because same exact premise, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time with it because you just heard me say it, but that trend line there, I assure you, a lot of people have drawn that trend line. So there is that potential self-fulfilling prophecy component where if the price can work its way up through that area and then get a breakup through it, that's a valid thought to have that, okay, maybe that signals that this consolidation right now is over, and because it's breaking a trend line that lots of other people are observing, other people could potentially just hop in because of that in and of itself. So definitely keep a close eye around that level, around the $1.28 mark. If you like to play more so pullbacks, and an interesting pullback location down there right around the $1.10 mark. But in my opinion, at least, the most interesting dynamic is all about that trend line. So let's see if the price can get the breakup through it. Next one here, AMC, and wow, what a day. I mean, think about it. This thing did not have a green candle until late afternoon. So literally the entire morning, late morning, entire early afternoon was green, just grinded higher and higher. And then finally, like I said, have a couple red candles. That green line here that I put in yesterday's video, I mean, first off, congratulations to anybody that watched that video and bought the trendline pullback right there. you got paid in a big way today, but I'm going to go ahead and delete that out as it served its purpose for now, and we'll map out some of the newer levels. But as far as you pullback players are concerned, if you like to play more so those pullbacks at an interesting level, that former breakout area right down there around $13.90. And then as far as areas of resistance, pretty straightforward because it's really just a question of, okay, where did this momentum, where did the party finally stop today? And it stopped up there at essentially $14.65. So for that reason and that reason alone is where that main area of resistance would be. But yeah, headed into Friday, no doubt about it, a whole lot of upwards pressure. Real quick, I wanted to pause and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live training that I'm offering. So if you've been enjoying what you've been seeing and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used as a trader, then certainly get signed up for this free training. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage. But a unique situation, because it's a live event, it's actually happening this evening. So depending on when you watch this video is going to depend on a few things. If you're watching this on Friday morning, well, then you've already missed the event. If you already have something on your schedule this evening, I totally get it. I have 5 kids. I know people's schedules are busy. But in either of those situations, the live event will be recorded. So after it's over and after I get it uploaded, I'd be happy to send you a link to it if you do want to see it. So drop me an email there, clay@claytrader.com, and I'd be happy, like I said, to send you that link. But if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up, and hopefully I'll see you here in a few hours. Next one here, ALNA, and in my mind at least, the premise here is very straightforward. This thing is either game over or this is just a deceiving pullback here, and there's actually, just like I said, deceiving in the sense of this upwards move is going to continue. Now, of course, there are no guarantees, but like I said, it's pretty straightforward. And in my mind, a logical spot to try to gauge, okay, well, what would you count as, the potential turnaround point? And that would be right there at the 23-cent mark. Again, I really want to emphasize, just because the price goes up 23 and breaks through it, doesn't mean that, okay, that's guaranteed for sure going to be an upwards move. But in my mind, it's a logical thought process to go through. And then at the same time, if it doesn't happen, then who knows? I mean, maybe this thing just drifts into oblivion. And well, at that point, well, it doesn't really matter because if you never get any sort of signal to at 23, then so be it. But in my mind, it just seems one of those where, yeah, maybe this is game over. Maybe this was just a one-day wonder where this thing is going to continue to bleed, which is why, if you want, I mean, everybody's different. You could try to play some sort of pullback. But in my mind, it's kind of a one approach type setup. Is it going to break through that level? If it does, great. If not, well, then so be it. You never put any money in because you never got any sort of potential trigger point on it. But so for me, 23 cents seems to be that main and key level. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and this will mean a bit more to those of you who have watched past videos, but you know that I put this trend line into place several videos ago and said, let's just see what happens. And then in yesterday's video, talked about how, hey, looking like that trend line might be coming into play. Let's see what happens. And I mean, just a beautiful example of technical charts. Came up to that trend line, broke up through it, and the rest is history. Had an absolutely fantastic day. So overall, the trend line has been just completely smashed. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these levels as they serve their purpose for now. But really the next level that I'm going to keep an eye on moving forward from a resistance standpoint, and I suppose it could come into play on Friday. It seems kind of far away, but it is Tesla, so you never know. But 750 is now going to be a very, very monitored level. You can see this is essentially where this former double top formed previously. So if the price does go up there, you're going to have longs watching it saying, hey, is there going to be a breakout? You're going to have shorts watching it saying, hey, is this thing about to get rejected? So while, nobody knows for sure what would happen at 750, the whole point here is that it is a very valid, will be a very observed level. So based on that alone, you can certainly put together some trade plans. For those that like to play the pullbacks, then an interesting level to watch for any sort of potential pullback, in my mind at least, going to be right here at the 725 mark. And then after that, down there right around the 7, we'll call it 15-ish mark. But overall, yeah, no doubt about it. Huge breakout today. Next one, GROV. Overall monster day, and it's setting up for a potentially interesting situation here as we head into Friday. And what I like about this is such a well-defined trend line. I mean, check out that trend line as far as forecasting areas of resistance. I mean, knocked it down, knocked it down, knocked it down, knocked it down. So point being, a lot of people will be watching that area. And that's going to be one, point that I'm sure a lot of shorts are watching, saying, I'll go against the trend, but I'm only going to go against the trend if the price gets up to that level, because I know I can keep my stop really tight based on that trend line. So there's going to be lots of people, and rightfully so, watching that level, because it really does stick out like a sore thumb. I mean, just you have all those highs and allow you to draw such a clean trend line like that. As far as pullbacks are concerned, first level that sticks out to me right there at 675. And then the other area, which would probably be a bit more aggressive if you want to wait for this, because it would require the price to come down quite a bit. But check out how the price has been honoring that 200 period moving average earlier on in the day. You can see right there, that's currently valid at $5.80. But those would be the three main levels that make sense, at least to me, to watch on Friday. Next one, USEA, and this one is very straightforward. I mean, to me, it's all about that self-fulfilling prophecy point right there at $7.40. I mean, check it out. Just rejected, 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 rejected right there. So once more, I'll repeat myself. I think the last time, are there guarantees? Of course not. But is it valid? Is it plausible to think, especially after a very solid 30 minutes right here, a final 30 minutes, that if the price can come up and break through that level, that could create another surge of upwards buying pressure? That is certainly a valid thought process to have. So keep an eye on that. As far as the bottom part of this channel is concerned, and therefore a level of support right there at 615. But if you want to be a little bit more aggressive and want a bigger, I guess a little bit more conservative, however you want to look at it, play some sort of gap close location, that would be down there around $4.75. But yeah, in my mind, the most intriguing level, all about 740. So let's see what happens. Next one, TQQQ. This is, I think, the third day in a row I've covered this one, but first noticed it, and I know a lot of people watch this one, but essentially it's a ETF that's leveraged. So if you believe that the QQQ, essentially the NASDAQ, is going to make big movements, well, then this one allows you to take advantage of those big movements at a much lower price, given this one's in the $20 range when the Qs are up. Where are the Qs? Up over almost $300. So overall, though, kind of a case of deja vu here with Tesla. But for those of you that watch past videos, I've been talking about this trend line as a couple of key levels, and right up there, broke through that trend line and then never really looked back. Just an absolutely great move today, which now brings up, and I'm just going to tilt this upwards because this will be the next level that a lot of people are watching, is these previous highs up around, when was that? Back on June 27th, up there at essentially $28.50. So $28.50 will be that next key level where you could find, I think it'll find some resistance up around there, just because this has been such a big move that started all the way down here. So at one point, the things were looking really, really sketchy, and then has just continued to grind higher and higher. So, you got to think that if the price were to get up there, I mean, surely it's going to at least need to take somewhat of a break, right? But you never know. But in my mind, 28.50 could be, if anything, a temporary problem point for those that like to play those pullbacks. First key level to watch on any sort of pullback, in my mind, right down there around the $27 mark. But all in all, great movement. And again, if you think that the NASDAQ is going to keep grinding higher, but you want a little bit of a cheaper way to play it, then TQQQ would give you the opportunity to do that. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can and should be used to build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free training. But like I said, if you can't make it because you already have something on your schedule, or if you're watching this Friday morning, then please drop me an email, clay@claytrader.com. But if you can't make it live, then yeah, it'll be this evening, Thursday, July 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to make these videos, then do two things for me. Hit that like button, leave a simple comment. Those two things communicate to me that you enjoy. And as long as I know people are continuing to enjoy, then I will continue to put in the time and effort to create this content for you. So again, get signed up for the free training or drop me an email. Hit that like button, leave a simple comment. Everybody take care. Have a good one.